I'm O'Reilly for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm at the BT Sport Production Hub today for the launch of, the draw of the Ultimate Boxer Season 5, I believe.
Yeah, so me.
Sean Robinson, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. I'm feeling good.
Good. So the draw, you got a fellow Goodwin, Lewis Sirrett.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts immediately on the draw?
Yeah, he's good. He's a southpaw, but I quite like watching southpaws, believe it or not. A lot of people think they're awkward, but I tend to fancy it. We've done rounds as well, me and Lewis. We know each other quite well, so that'd be good. I'm quite happy with the draw to put. But I was saying I didn't really mind who I got, because that's what, when I entered it, I knew I'd have to fight everyone. So
yeah. So when you looked at it, there wasn't any particular opponent.
Nah.
You thought maybe him first, or
no, like a lot of people saying about Donnelly, but I meet him in the second round. But I don't meet him in the final. I imagine if that's how the draw works, so it'd be good. Like, I don't mind who I fight. Yeah. I think everyone's got the same opportunity. If you're going to win it, you've just got to not care about anyone else. So.
Yeah. I touched on it, briefly off camera. I was personally surprised to see you enter the tournament.
Yeah.
You last two fights, you won the Southern area, and then you got a draw. So you kept your title.
Yeah.
10-round fights. Very different from this format.
It's completely different.
What's the thinking, Sean? Why would this appeal to you, who maybe you're used to now going the long distance?
Long rounds, yeah. The offers I got, to be fair, nothing really was great, and it was sort of like have a tick-over fight against a journeyman in December, or maybe a bit. So I was gonna have a little rest after my last fight. So I had 2 10-rounders back to back. I asked my manager to go in this, and he was like, "Oh, I don't think I can get you in." So I was a bit annoyed, and then he rang me up a week later and was like, "I can get you in." So I was like, "Yeah, I nearly bit his hand off," and he said it. The 10-rounders are good, but I felt like I was having hard fights for not that great financially.
Okay.
So when I got offered this, I was like, I can get a lot more money for 3 rounds. I know it's 9 rounds, but it's 3-round fights at the end of the day. So you've got time to recover. And it's different. It's amateur format, so I felt like it suited me.
Yeah. Club KO. That's where a lot of things happen in there. Linus Udofia, Brad Paul's another Southern area champion. So it's a thriving gym. What's it like being part of that camp?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Linus should be fighting for English. Brad's Southern area champion. I learned loads of them since I've turned pro. So sparring with them's brought me on like leaps and bounds. I'm sure they've learnt of me as well, but I feel like personally I've learnt so much of them too. Brad, I think, is an underrated boxer. Linus, I think everyone knows, he's a brilliant boxer. But I think Linus will show it when he gets that English title, but Brad's already shown it. Like, he stopped Darren Cardona and I think it was 2 or 3 rounds. That's a good win. It hasn't been done by anyone. So yeah, it's brilliant.
Terry Stewart, a man who's his wealth of knowledge in boxing. He's worked with De Gale, and he's just been a stalwart of British boxing.
Yeah.
What's it like being in with someone with that sort of knowledge? You say you're learning from the fighters, but it must be immense learning from someone like Terry Stewart.
Yeah, Terry's brilliant. Just boxing wise, I've learnt so much. He's taught me like fitness things, like everything. I feel like boxing wise, from Terry, he's completely changed it. Like, as for an amateur, I sort of just punch the bags, skip, shadow box. Terry tells me why you do certain runs, like the lengths of runs, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've learnt loads, and even my style. Like, I was very bouncy before on the front hander, which I still do now and again, but I didn't have to change it up. Like, Terry showed me just little things, like little moves that he showed me. So he's brought me on loads.
You're a very young man for considering you've had a Southern area title under your belt, and you're still 23 years old.
23, yeah.
So there's a long time to go. Why would you enter this tournament now? Obviously, I understand the money situation, but is there a danger this could be a step back if if you're not successful, for example, the Southern area title? Would that be looking to get back to that level? It's a difficult call, and it's a brave call, in truth.
I think I always hear people saying, I heard some people saying to me, he doesn't want to fight certain people, but I've beat people that are 12-0. I'm going in this tournament. I've got no fear of boxing anyone. I mean that as well. I never look at anyone. I always think if someone can beat me, they can beat me. It don't bother me. This tournament's a prime example. That I didn't even ask the lineup. I was just put me in it. I don't care who I fight. But I think I'm only young, but I've had hard fights. And like I said, I don't want to be taking fights where I don't think I'm getting any gain out of it. This is on TV. So fair enough if you obviously I want to win it, but if you don't win it, you've been seen.
Your exposure
is
multiplied massively.
Yeah, my last 2 fights I've had, they've been good fights. One was a draw, one was a win. training, but no one's seen them. Like they've got like, I don't feel like I've gained anything from it personally. Like, I got offered, I was saying, there was offers, or we were speaking about an English title shot, but again, it was not on TV, because I think it was going up to Bolton or Manchester. It just didn't make, I was up for it, but they were, my manager and that were like, I don't think it's necessarily a great opportunity, and this come along, so I snapped it up.
Yeah, I understand. Listen, people that don't really understand small ball boxing, you hit the nail on the head. You've had 2 Southern Area 10 rounders who have seen it, so this is wonderful for exposure wise, and hopefully this can increase fan base and revenue and sponsors and stuff. Sean, what's your current situation? Are you working? Are you full-time training?
For the fights, I always take time off work, but literally after my last fight I had 2 days off and I went straight back to work. I felt a little bit rough after my last fight, so I was like, I had a couple of days off, but I usually take 6 weeks off. I've got a few sponsors that are brilliant. I think Prism, Base and Stoneworks Marble and Sunfish Fitness, they all sponsor me and help out massively, so like I said, I've always taken the 6 weeks off or 5 weeks for a fight, especially 10 rounds. You can't train.
What do you do as a job?
Scaffolding.
Yeah,
so it's
good for the arms. There's a couple of the guys that do that.
Yeah, so. Lewis as well.
Yeah, Lewis.
But yeah, like I said, for the 10 round fights, I used to work for 6 round fights, but this tournament and when I'm fighting 10 rounds, I never work, because I don't think you can mess about, you get hurt. So if I'm super fit, if I lose and I'm super fit, I've got no excuses. So this tournament, someone does knock me out or stop me or beats me, I can say, oh, fair enough, no, not tired or anything.
Career-wise, I mean, we've touched on the exposure and fan base and revenue. Career-wise, where do you want this to take you? Providing you're successful.
I've got a few. If I win, I've got a few things in my head I'll call out. But like I said, there's no point getting flash before. But I know who I want to fight. There's people that are around British level. I don't think you can necessarily call out British champions or people who've got belts, but there's people that are near that level who are going to be fighting soon. I know who I could fight. There's a few people that are signed by Matchroom. I'm confident could be.
Okay, there's the other interesting side, obviously, when you won your Southern Area against Joshua Jackpovey. He's in the tournament also.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been kept apart, so it's there's a lot of fights to go, but potentially meeting in the final. Is that a little bit? I mean, I spoke to him earlier. He believes he won the fight against you. So listen, it's a nice little added ingredient, isn't it?
Yeah, if he thinks he won, like 98, 92 is pretty clear. But like is what it is. Listen, I say I beat him over 10 rounds, 3 rounds. Again, I worked him out over 10 rounds. I work him over 3 rounds. People would say like over 10 rounds so different, but I think if you can beat someone over 10 rounds, you can beat him over short format. You just got to be prepared for the higher pace, the intensity, which I have done in training. I feel like I can get in there and outbox anyone over 3 rounds. If anything, it's better, because you can 10 rounds you've got to think, if he's coming at me, like it's different mind. If someone's coming at you over 3 rounds, 10 rounds, sorry, you think he's going to blow himself out. If they're coming with you 3 rounds, you've got to work with them. You can't just let them pile the pressure on.
Yeah, so has the training changed? I mean, I'd say it's very different, isn't it? Format wise, I
think it's just more like your work rate. I wouldn't say like you're still boxing training, isn't it? Like my strength conditioning I'm doing a lot more of. I felt like I need to step it up, so I have. But I wouldn't say it's sparring. It's short. You don't need 10 round sparring. Obviously, it's a slow pace, but 4 or 5 rounds.
Intensity stuff,
little breaks and stuff like that. But it's high intensity. But you still need the stamina. I think people think, 3 minutes is easy. You look at the amateurs; they're knackered. Like it's high level, especially
because you can't afford to take a round off. If you give up 1 round, you're chasing it, aren't you?
Like a 400 metre sprint, isn't it? It's difficult, isn't it? So that'd be good.
That should be good. It should be a good event, and the exposure it's going to bring hopefully increases your fan base.
Exactly.
And people get to know a lot more about you. Where can people follow you? Follow the journey, Instagram.
Instagram, Twitter? Sean Robinson 955, and I don't actually have Twitter, but I use my Instagram a lot, so people want to see. I post a lot on there, a lot of my training and everything. If anyone tags me anything, I put up my stories. So
okay, listen, Sean, pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
I wish you the very best of luck on the 20th of September.
20th September.
At the Indigo 2. Thank you very much for talking to Boxing Social.